prepare to race onto the field. Everything is riding on this football game. So there's a special intensity, a special urgency. Here come the Volunteers. Wherever you listen throughout the world, it's football time in Tennessee.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Fulke here. I just want to give a shout out to Boogie Bentley, Dauber, and the Indy Kid over at the Talkin VAWLS Network on YouTube. Keep doing your thing, guys. Go VAWLS.
Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Going to give you 5 things to watch for tomorrow as Tennessee takes on Pitt inside of Neyland Stadium for the Johnny Majors Classic. Typically what I want to do is drop these on Saturday, but because it is a noon kickoff, got some stuff going on in the morning before the game, figured I would go ahead and throw it out here later on Friday night, let you guys check it out. So do me a couple of things. One, go ahead and smash that thumbs up just below the video. Also, if you're new to the Talkin VAWLS Network, welcome. We're just 3 guys that love Tennessee athletics. We don't claim to be experts or insiders or something. We're not. We're just fans. We are just like you. So if you like what we do, go ahead and subscribe. Click that bell for notifications. You won't miss out when we go live or when we drop new content. We will be live tomorrow immediately following the game. So I hope you'll tune in for that. It's a good time hanging out with a bunch of Tennessee fans. So like I said, go ahead and subscribe. Join us tomorrow. But let's get into it. These aren't necessarily keys to the game. What it is just 5 things that I'm looking for tomorrow as Tennessee takes on Pitt. And that's number 5 is home field advantage. And I dropped a video about that earlier today, talking about 102-455, trying to fill up Neyland Stadium. And I know it's a noon kickoff, but I think because of the comments made by Pitt's head coach, that's circulating all around Vol Twitter, all throughout the community, all over Facebook. You see it everywhere when you're looking at this game on Saturday. I think Neyland Stadium will be rocking. It will be electric, and Tennessee, Vol Nation, can make a difference in that ball game. So that's number 5. That's what I'm going to be looking for tomorrow. Number 4, Jaylen Wright. All the rumors circulating that Tyon Evans is going to be out, whether that's COVID-related, whether that's some type of suspension or injury. I don't know. It's been very vague, but Josh Heupel kind of touched on it during his press conference. It seems to me that Tyon Evans is not going to play tomorrow. So that's a lot to fall on Jaylen Wright. We talk about Jabari Small and Tyon Evans being a 1-2 punch. Those guys complement each other, able to spell each other. They looked great against Bowling Green. And yeah, Bowling Green had one of the worst running defenses in the nation last year, maybe the worst rushing defense in the country. But Jabari Small, Tyon Evans went out, did their job, got to the second level, made guys miss, made plays. Losing Tyon Evans is going to be bad. But we heard a lot of praise for Jaylen Wright all throughout camp. He's one of those guys they talked about flashing, a guy that showed athleticism, a guy that made plays, a guy that's got speed, a guy that fits this Josh Heupel offense perfectly. But last Thursday, when the lights came on inside of Neyland Stadium, the few times Jaylen Wright got into the game, got his hands on the ball, he did not impress. And yes, he's a true freshman. Yes, maybe he just didn't have it when the lights came on. Maybe he was a deer in headlights, because Jaylen Wright still has that athletic potential. He still has that ability to make plays. When he touched the ball, he seems to be a little impatient. Seemed like he wanted to get outside and try to make something happen, try to outrun everybody instead of being a patient runner hitting the hole. So hopefully Jaylen Wright went back to the film room, corrects his mistakes, because we're going to need to lean on him tomorrow afternoon inside of Neyland Stadium. I also wonder who is going to be the third man into the game. Are we going to see a healthy dose of Jabari Small with occasionally Jaylen Wright coming in to spell him? But Jaylen Wright's the number 4 thing to watch for me tomorrow. How does he play in his second game at Tennessee? Number 3 would be the offensive line. And the offensive line, they looked pretty good against Bowling Green last week. But there's a big upgrade in competition this week with that Pittsburgh defensive line. They've got some horses. They've got some depth. And yes, they lost 2 defensive ends to the NFL. They lost a lot of production, but the next man up. They got a lot of talent on that defensive line. I think they had 5 sacks last week against UMass. And yeah, kind of similar to Tennessee's game, it was UMass. Not a whole lot you can take away from it, but they do have talent. But this Tennessee offensive line, they graded out pretty good, especially Cade Mays. When you look at the PFF grades, he graded out pretty good. Javonte Spraggins was up there. What concerned me in that game last Thursday against Bowling Green was when Cooper Mays went out. And Cooper Mays is banged up. He's doubtful for tomorrow. I don't think he's going to go. I don't think they're going to risk further injuring Cooper Mays. You're going to need him, especially when you get into SEC play. But the offense completely stalled when Cooper Mays went down. And I'm not putting that on Ollie Lane in any way, shape, or form. In fact, when you look at the way they graded out, Ollie Lane wasn't that far below Cooper Mays as far as being graded. But something was off. I don't know. When they slid Jerome Carvin over to center, it could have been as much as timing. I know the speed of play was down just a little bit, getting up to the ball, getting everybody on the same page. Maybe there was a communication issue, but the offense stalled when Cooper Mays went down. Now, they did get it corrected. They went into the locker room at halftime, made some corrections, came back out, and the offense got rolling. Again, right out of the gate in the third quarter, I think they ran 8 straight running plays, went right down the field, scored to take the lead 24-6, and they never looked back. But how does this offensive line respond to a Pittsburgh defense that's a huge upgrade in competition? That's number 3 for what I'm watching for tomorrow. Number 2, we've been talking about Kenny Pickett. What a good quarterback he is. And he is. He's a veteran quarterback. He's got the arm strength, got all the talent in the world. Returns a lot of his receivers. Tennessee is going to have to be able to get pressure on Kenny Pickett, make him uncomfortable. Because one of the listeners to this show made a good point in the comments on one of the videos I made this week talking about Kenny Pickett will turn the ball over. If you put pressure on him, he will throw an interception. And when you look at his stats going back 2020, 13 touchdowns to 9 interceptions. That's not a very good ratio. 2019, same thing. 13 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. 2018, 12 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. So you're talking about a guy, Kenny Pickett, as good as he is a veteran guy. He will make mistakes. If Tennessee dials up some blitzes, get some pressure, especially with that front 4, if you can get to him with that front 4, that's a game changer. And I think the defensive line, again, when you look at the PFF grades from last week's game, the defensive line did a good job. Especially in that first quarter, they were getting pressure. Bowling Green had to change their game plan because of how well the Tennessee defensive line was playing. A position group that we were all concerned with throughout spring, throughout fall. Rodney Garner has turned that group around and made them a strength of this football team. They need to get pressure on Kenny Pickett. I want to see this Tim Banks defense dialed up a little bit more aggressive. They were very vanilla last week. Didn't see a whole lot of, blitzes. Everything seemed to be from the front 4. Occasionally you'd bring a 5th guy. Let's see this Tim Banks defense when it's for real. The number one thing that I think we're all going to be watching tomorrow as Tennessee takes on Pitt in the Johnny Majors Classic, and that is Joe Milton. You can't really ever put an entire game on one guy's shoulders, but this game falls on Joe Milton. If we get the Joe Milton that showed up in the first quarter against Bowling Green, Tennessee's going to roll. I have all the confidence in the world that Tennessee's going to roll. But if we get the Joe Milton that showed up for 3/4 of the game, second quarter through the fourth quarter, Tennessee does not stand a chance. Joe Milton has got to rise to the occasion. Talk about getting better from week 1 to week 2. Josh Heupel talked about all the mistakes that Joe Milton made are correctable mistakes. We can look at the film, we can get better. Josh Heupel's a known QB whisperer. He can develop quarterbacks. He's done it everywhere he's been. So can he develop Joe Milton? Can he fix Joe Milton? It takes 11 guys all doing what they're supposed to do. But a lot falls on Joe Milton for this game against Pittsburgh. We'll see if he's improved from week 1 to week 2. And if he hasn't, if we get that Joe Milton that showed up in the second, the third, fourth quarter, how long's the leash? How long's the leash? How long until Josh Heupel starts to get uncomfortable and sends Hendon Hooker into the game? Because in the post-game press conference, it was never a question, never in doubt. Joe Milton was not coming out. Joe Milton didn't do anything worthy of being benched. He had the fumble late in the game. Didn't really throw into traffic a lot. Yeah, Tillman bailed him out on the deep ball. That was a bad decision, but Tillman went up and made a play. A lot is on Joe Milton's shoulders. Does he step up? Does he rise to the occasion? Leave me a comment. Let me know, what are your 5 things that you are looking for in tomorrow's game? Leave those in the comments below. If you have not done so yet, please go ahead and smash that thumbs up on the way out the door. Also, you can support the channel. Go to bonfire.com/store/TalkinVols. You can pick up the official merchandise of the Talkin' Vols Network. We do have some new hats. A lot of you guys have been asking for hats. They are now available. You can go pick those up. We've also got toboggans, a couple of new designs, and also stainless steel water bottles. So check out all the merchandise. Any and all support would be greatly appreciated. If not, just do me one favor, and that is smash that thumbs up on the way out the door. But that is going to wrap it up for this one. Please join us tomorrow immediately following the game for the postgame show. Should be a good time hanging out with Vol Nation. But this is the Talkin' Vols Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.